This video contains mentions of suicide, disordered eating, and drug abuse. If you are sensitive to these topics, there will be timestamps to avoid them, but please look after yourself and your mental health first. Check out my YouTube shorts for more wholesome content. Hey guys, it's Alpaca. Welcome back to another Yandere simulator redesign video. We're back! I've been so excited to get this video out, but unfortunately life happens and scripts are hard. I did get to do my first con table though. To work out who I was drawing today, I asked you guys in the community to have to choose out of 4 options, and at the time of writing this, 127 of you answered. Thank you so much to everyone who did. Amai and Info-chan were chosen to be redesigned, so here I am to deliver. I am going to be changing most things about the characters, such as their designs, of course, their designs and even their mechanics. I'm excited to tell you guys their stories and my thoughts behind them, especially since I made some significant changes. Just please be aware that I'm not a game designer or anything. I just like making up funky little stories and designs. If you ever want to see my designs before they get posted to YouTube, check out my Twitch. I live stream my designing process and discuss the ideas with you guys live. So if you have any ideas for a future redesign, check me out at twitch.tv/likeanalpaca. Links in the description. Now that I've finished plugging my socials, we may officially start the redesigns. So we'll start with the second rival, Amai Odayaka, the leader of the baking club. As I'm writing this, I have discovered that Amai has been officially released as of May 1st. I wasn't expecting her to come out ever, honestly. I refuse to play the game, so I have no clue if my version of Amai will be similar or completely different to the canon version. I guess time will tell. In my redesigned version of Amai, she is the leader of the baking club. This is purely because I thought that was her role, but no, she's the cooking club leader. Whoops. Let's pretend they're one and the same for the school. For my redesign, I wanted to solidify that Academy Senior High School is a prestigious school full of rich and influential families. A big inspiration for Academy is Hyako Private School from Kakegurui, which I'm realizing is a recurring theme. From the outside, Hyako Private School is an amazing institute filled with the bright future of Japan. However, the school is filled with gambling, violence, and just a whole lot of bad, which is how I want Academy to be. A prestigious private school filled with secrets. I bring this up because I want this club leaders to be a highly regarded role. Being the leader of a club while at a school full of talented students is quite a big deal. The leaders get to decide the fate of their peers in a way. Amai grew up working in a small bakery that her family owned. Her family worked tirelessly to save up enough money to get Amai into one of Japan's top high schools to ensure that she could live a bright future. Amai, not wanting to disappoint her family, worked hard in the bakery and at school. Getting into Academy is a difficult feat, so she needed the best grades possible to increase her chances of getting in. You needed money, or to be incredibly talented. When she was accepted into the school, she immediately tried out for the school's baking club. She aimed to get the leader position, as it was her best chance at getting into her dream school. I know for many schools, including my own clubs, were free for all, like anyone could get in. But I want the clubs at Academy to be exclusive. You have to be accepted to join them. It's like being sorted into a sports team in a way. To be in a club is a privilege. Amai worked in the baking club for 2 years, helping set up baking sales, food drives, and running the school cafeteria. All her hard work led to her being appointed the leader of the baking club in her final year. Senior high schools in Japan are for 3 years. This was the same year a mysterious new transfer student joined the school and blew her away with their dedication and talent. The student was, of course, Nagisa Yamada, aka Senpai. The two of them hit it off while Amai was teaching Senpai different piping techniques. That is not an innuendo. After the club meeting, and they quickly grew to become friends. She had never met someone so dedicated to learning and willing to grow their different skills. The two of them slowly got closer and closer as Nagisa kept staying back to learn more about baking. When Amai came back from a baking competition, she found that Nagisa was looking a little off in the club meeting. They even left as soon as the meeting was over, which was unusual. She chased after them and they both ended up chatting on the roof. Nagisa was heartbroken that their childhood friend Osana had died, gone missing, distanced herself from them, and they didn't know how to cope since they had been friends since they were 3. It was this moment that made Amai fall for Nagisa. She knows it was a bad time and the friend situation and all that, but seeing their vulnerability, the usually bright and bubbly Nagisa being honest with her made her want to keep them smiling forever. As I said in the last part, I wanted to make each of the characters fall into a different data type. The dere type I've chosen for Amai is a tere dere, or a haji dere, I think it is. Both are interchangeable, I think, but haji dere is more Western. A tere dere, by definition, is a character who becomes increasingly embarrassed and bashful around their crush. That's why I want Amai and Senpai to become really good friends first. The contrast of her before and after realizing her feelings would be really fun to play around with. Before, they used to compliment each other all the time when it came to their baking. Now she can't help but turn red whenever Senpai does it now. Imagine her walking to class, chatting with her friends normally, when Nagisa says hi to her in the hallway, she just turns into a little embarrassed mess. That's why it becomes known that Amai has a crush on Nagisa, and how it gets back to Ayano. This part is going to mention themes of suicide, bullying, and disordered eating. Please skip to the timestamp on screen if you are sensitive to these topics. I want to talk about my ideas for Amai's dedicated execution method. Her one is being dedicated to the bullying suicide route. As someone who grew up surrounded by food, she understood how important it is to eat properly and how food makes people happy. That's why her having her dedicated death be related to the thing that makes so many people, including herself, happy is even more damaging. I want Ayano to start commenting on Amai's weight on different school forums and through gossip at school. This encourages becoming social butterfly. This is so the bullies. I'm still deciding if I want the Gyaru girls to be the bullies still or not. We'll work it out. Catch on and begin to do the tormenting themselves. Every day she gets harassed with constant snickering and oinking sounds, force feeding her, and even inciting her to kill herself. Yeah, it's a f***ed up school. Ends up getting so bad that her baking club even begins to comment on it, snickering as they tell her that she's clearly been having too many treats. Amai withdraws herself from school, no longer showing up to her beloved club as she hides away from the constant torture of her classmates. The food that once brought her comfort is now a source of pain as she begins to restrict her intake. She ends up never going to school again, but still gets harassed from her bullies. She decides that the only way to stop it all is by dying. She raids her medicine cabinet and dies via overdose. Senpai tried reaching out, but Amai was too embarrassed to reply. She instead put on a brave face and pretended everything was okay to keep them happy. Of course, it wasn't enough, and Senpai is left absolutely heartbroken, and once again, loses a friend. I've now just realised how disproportionate Amai's arm is. I've been staring at this drawing for so long, trying to work out why it looked off. It's her arm. The speed paint will look off for most of the process, but the final image will be fixed. With Amai, I was going to draw her more shy, but when I decided I wanted her to be a tere-dere, I changed that idea. Because contrast, baby! That's why she's posed super cutely and she looks super happy. With her actual design, I didn't change too much, all things considered. I just changed some things to make her a little more modest and cutesy. Since she's a club leader, she gets special privileges with her uniform. She can wear pieces of clothing that resemble/resonate with her club. It's similar to wearing a badge of honor. Though the leaders do actually wear badges that show that they're the leader, I replaced the armband since in many countries the red armband is associated with a group that rhymes with Yahtzees. With her uniform, I made the skirt a lot longer, as many redesigns do, and I also extended her apron to cover her chest as well. I think if I redo her design, I would make her apron more flashy, with little ruffles on the side while making it bigger. My favourite change I made was her hair. Amai's hair was low-key based on mine. It's short on the top and long underneath. If you want a better comparison, think of Farina from Genshin Impact. I gave her this hair because she works with a lot of food, both at school and at home, so she needs to tie her hair up a lot. So she thought that if she kept it in a cute short bob, she could just push it back with a headband on bandana, and she could tie up the rest when she needs to. And let me just say, it's such a cute haircut. I love it so much. Once again, I got rid of the long stockings that's so iconic on the rivals, and instead put it on her accessories. I think the original stockings are low-key tacky, so I gave her some baggy socks that kind of resemble leg warmers, because if I don't keep it the same, I gotta at least hint to its origins. And that's Amai's redesign! I want to hear your thoughts. Should I have changed more? Should I have stuck to the OG design more? Please give me your opinions. Also, let me know how similar she is to the canon Amai. I'm so curious. This is your mid-video reminder to ask you to kindly subscribe if you like the video. Next up, we have the infamous mystery info broker themselves, Info-sama, the leader of the IT club. Info, or Info-sama, previously known as Info-chan, is the leader of the IT club. You might ask, why are they called Info-sama now? Well, because I thought they were so mysterious that not even their gender is known. They are simply the IT club leader that will tell you anything for the right price. Who knows how they get that information? I'm going to briefly mention drug abuse in this section, so please skip to the timestamp on screen if you are sensitive to this topic. Because I want to keep them rather mysterious, only a few things are known about their past. 1. They grew up dirt poor. 2. Info-sama hates their father, who was a serial adulterer who brought home a new woman every night, despite living with his wife and child. 3. They still love and miss their mother, despite the fact that she was addicted to drugs for most of their childhood. They instead blame their father, since she turned to hard drugs as a way to cope with the pain of her husband's constantly sleeping around. Info-sama's family died in a mysterious house fire, where Info was the only one to make it out alive. They were only 10. They stayed in foster care until they were 13, as they had no other family, and they were shipped off to a boarding school in Japan. I want Info-sama to originally be from South Korea. Now, this section is just going to be a lot of extra info that I've thought about their backstory. Info-sama is a genius. Despite never going to school, they managed to pick up reading at a very young age. This led them to go to the library every day as a way to both read and get away from their dysfunctional family. They studied various topics and gained a love of the computer. They used their newfound knowledge and put together some advertisements for themselves to do random jobs for people. They delivered mail, washed cars, helped run errands, anything to get money. This was until they fell into the hands of the Yakuza and officially joined them as an information broker. It was perfect. It paid incredibly well. They promised to protect them, and Info got to utilize their smarts to help. The catch? Info had to remove their entire existence from the public eye and had to create a fake identity, and thus Info-sama was born. I'm going to timeskip now to when Info-sama and Ayano meet. It's in quotation marks because it's all done via messages. Info noticed Ayano obsessing over the new person in town and realized that this was the perfect time to get more information about the other students at Academy. Ayano was just an average person, but despite this, Info knew next to nothing about her. All the information they had about Ayano was from her school records. How could a regular student be so private? They immediately reached out to Ayano, asking if she liked Senpai, if she wanted Senpai all to herself, and will she do anything to get them. If you need anything, and they mean anything, they will get it to you one way or another. All they ask is for a little something. And no, they aren't panty shots. Honestly, who would make that a mechanic? No, instead, Info-sama wants secrets. Find secrets about your peers from any source possible, friends, forums, or from eavesdropping. And if you find out, let Info know, and you might get a little something out of it. This is the main mechanic that I wanted to change because I think having to take panty shots of teenagers is really weird. There's a part of me that wants to make Info-sama the last rival after Megami as a sort of 6th Night kind of moment. Like, you don't need to do it, but it's a final rival that you need to do for the true ending. Info-sama is a rival due to them going behind your back and wanting to reveal everything that Ayano does to the school and Senpai. They are by far the most difficult because you don't see them all game and you need a way into the IT club. This is just an idea though, so if you have any ideas on how this could work, I would love to hear your ideas. Now, with their design, you might be questioning why Bro's uniform looks different. Info-sama doesn't get seen often, both by students and teachers, as they tend to do all their work online. But due to the fact that they stay at the boarding house, they have to wear the uniform. So, what's the best loophole? Wear both the male and female uniform. My sister used to wear hoodies underneath her shirts, and she made it look cool, so I thought that Info-sama would do the same, but with their uniform shirt. Honestly, I really liked how it turned out. The baggy hoodie and clothes really help conceal their identity. Despite not wanting to show themselves to the public, they still love to wear multiple rings and accessories that they've bought. They went from poor to rich and having a lot of influence. It's like a status symbol. They wear the usual face covering, sunglasses and a mask. It's a classic for a reason. Basically, most of their stuff is to hide who they are. With Info's hair, I wanted to keep their iconic red hair as I basically changed everything else about their design. It's Ramona Flowers' hair, but it stays red, and that was completely accidental. Now, you think that they wouldn't want bright red hair because it makes them stand out, but you'd be surprised how many students have bright hair. Being a club leader definitely gives you hella perks. I'm really happy with how Info's design turned out. There's something that just gives gender. I'm also quite glad that they don't look particularly feminine or masculine, they just are. Let me know what you like about Info, How would you change their story or redesign? I had lots of fun thinking about how their design could have changed. If you watched my last Yandere simulator video, the video is linked in the top right, you would have seen my old redesign for them, which is this. Major improvements in my opinion. Let me know which one you think is better in the comments. Oh my god, I'm so glad I could finally finish this. This script was a real struggle to finish, I'll be honest fellas, but I'm so proud of myself. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to press the subscribe button. I love watching it sparkle when I press it. I'm still working on more videos right now, so keep an eye out for those. I'm thinking about alternating between long and short form videos, but we'll see how that goes. If you have any ideas or theories for my version of Yandere Simulator, please drop them in the comments, especially for future rivals. I need some ideas for the later ones. Also, keep an eye out for my community tab. I try to post updates, whether it's about important live streams, updates on my videos, or polls for future character designs. If you guys like my art and want to see more of my content, please check out my Twitch. I try to live stream art at least once a week and plan to do some of my redesign work there too. I also have a coffee! You can become a member today to get perks such as exclusive Discord channels, get some sneak peeks at my content, and monthly doodles at your request, and shoutouts at the end of my video, like my amazing members DogTags8000 and AMK Heart. All links to my socials and coffee are in the description below. Thank you all again for watching. Be sure to hydrate, eat food, and do your homework so we can be happy and healthy for the next stream. See ya!